NRA has Collier Noir and so on. Right. Oh, and that's actually, and so on. That's who they have.
Yeah.
So,
Not anymore.
Not all the people are Hoteps again. So, if they have names like Young Pharaoh, Hotep Jesus, generally the giveaway that somebody is a Hotep is that there's something in their name that evokes Egypt. I'm not going to make the joke that certain of our listeners are already saying in their heads, but Young Pharaoh is like, oh, I'm against political correctness. I'm against cancel culture. And so CPAC is like, hey, you're against cancel culture. Well, then, my fine African-American gentlemen, why don't you have us get on the stage at CPAC? Unfortunately, what they discover, because their thing is America Uncanceled.
As usual, their thing is not any, set of beliefs or principles that they have. It's just, we're against something.
So it turns out that Young Pharaoh had made some controversial statements in the past. What people need to understand is that a lot of Black people, they may not literally believe the Yaqub story, but a lot of them sure believe something like it.
Yeah.
I don't know about a majority, but a lot of Blacks do believe that not only did Blacks invent civilization, they invented bathing and the Moors gave it to the white people. A lot of Blacks do believe effectively that whites are, if not literally and spiritually subhuman, would be living on the state of animals without Blacks to then give technology, which whites then turned against Blacks. Nick Cannon, for example, got canceled for...
Can I quote someone on this that I think sums it up? The Reverend Al Sharpton has said, quote, "White folks was in caves while we was building empires. We built pyramids before Donald Trump ever knew what architecture was. We taught philosophy and astrology and mathematics before Socrates and them Greek homos ever got around to it." And he's a very mainstream figure. He has a TV show and he visits with presidents, and he's not like some fringy guy. He might be toward the fringe, but Barack Obama had him in the White House on a regular basis. He is more a mainstream figure than Rush Limbaugh is.
So, Young Pharaoh had said, let me find actually the full quote.
Then while you do that, I'll reply to the stupidity of the Al Sharpton quote, which is obviously I don't believe in all that stuff, and different skin colors get credit for different things that people of their skin color did or whatever. But it was one of those things where obviously I'm not going to delve into the accuracy of the history of that, but it's one of those stupid rhetorical points where it's like, even if that were true, it's a really bad argument to say, hey, we used to do a lot of cool stuff, because you're walking right into somebody's going to go, what have you done lately? And if you don't have a really good answer for that, you're going to look bad.
So here are I'm just going to read some of Young Pharaoh's tweets. He says, in order to have a soul, you must have a connection to the solar system, the sun. Melanin is condensed sunlight.
They love things like this.
Yes.
They love
no melanin
things.
Equals no soul. Christianity is based upon pedophilia. African voodoo has been infiltrated by the Catholic Church, who are also white pedophiles. Caucasians continuously colonize. Caucasians continuously colonize.
Yeah, they love stuff like this. It's more important that it rhymes and that it has
or alliterates.
Alliterates than that it has wordplay like you need to have a soul, you need to be connected to the solar system. That's more important than if it makes any sense.
They continuously colonize.
Marx was right, and different people do have different logics.
Don't say that.
I meant different individuals. I didn't mean it like ethnically. I meant that there's more than one kind of logic. And one kind of logic is it alliterative?
Caucasians continuously colonize, rape, pervert, then forget when it's time to deal with their own created evils and problems. Religion is garbage. This is where Dan says, see what I mean? Why can't we be equal? Intellectual property of Negroid people, pyramids, electricity, martial arts, agriculture, astrology, math, science.
He threw in too. They know astrology's fake, right?
Math, science, fashion, beauty, medicine, family, intellectual properties of Caucasian people, homosexuality, pedophilia, bestiality. Disclaimer, I am an organic being, and while I am currently a being of love, I am also a being of truth. With that being said, I have no obligation to lie in order to uplift the disgusting culture and energy or creation less deviant people. The Western mind I value less, period.
Wow. That really sounds like a guy who's very happy.
Yeah, here's the other thing about this, though. When CPAC canceled him, the story they ran with was not CPAC cancels deranged lunatic who hates white people. They call him anti-Semitic rapper Young Pharaoh.
There it is.
Because what does he say? There is no historical or scientific evidence proving the existence of Jews or Judaism. It's all a complete lie. Go get the best Jewish scholar you can find, and I'll expose religion as being completely made up for political gain. Hashtag it never happened. This is the if you go by the mainstream media and how they're reporting on it, the reason CPAC is canceling this guy is because he says that Judaism is a complete lie, like the religion is a complete lie which was made up for political gain. Do you see? And this is the same that happened with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon also said that without melanin, it is impossible to be moral. But that's not what he got canceled for. No, what Nick Cannon got a show canceled for was for saying something, I don't remember what, about Jews. What got Nick Cannon canceled was when he said, black people are the true Hebrews. We are the same people who they want to be. That's our birthright. We are the true Hebrews. Those without dark skin have a deficiency. They had to be savages. Jewish people, white people, Europeans, among others. Again, what, though, is he accused of from that? Anti-Semitism. And I don't have much to say about that. An easy conclusion, I think, that can be reached is really that just, if nothing else, whites are using Jews as a proxy. We can just assign all agency to white people here. Whites just don't want to defend themselves against attack. And when they are attacked, they will simply scramble to find some other reason to attack this person. And Jews are just a convenient proxy for them. Like, oh man, all you white people, this and that, and you have no melanin, and your whole religion is fake, all this Judaism and Christianity bullshit. They're like, hey, this guy just said Judaism is fake.
Yep.
Right? Like, just to have something. So that's the CPAC news. So, oh no. So speaking of this, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Dan, what do you know about Marjorie Taylor Greene?
More than I'd like to.
Yeah, so Marjorie Taylor Greene is a representative from Georgia, I believe. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is associated with a simple 3-word phrase: Jewish space lasers. The reason she's associated with this phrase is because 2 years ago, when there were during California's annual forest fire season, right? Which reminds me of another thing we got to talk about, which is like the deep freeze in Texas, where shitlibs were saying that, Texans don't believe in global warming and they don't believe in science, and they're so dumb they don't believe in global warming, and now they are suffering under this deep freeze because they didn't accurately prepare for climate change, and now they're paying all this electricity because they have this this evil capitalist electricity system which lets them buy electricity at unit cost, as opposed to a fixed rate or anything. Meanwhile, California has a forest fire season every year. But for the past few years, conservatives have been saying maybe Antifa setting some of these fires, right?
Yeah.
And so Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of these people. She's a QAnon person. And so here is the thing. Okay, in November 2018, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene's Facebook post in full. As there are now over 70 people confirmed dead and over 1,000 missing, the fires in California are a horrific tragedy. I'm praying for all involved. I'm posting this in speculation because there are too many coincidences to ignore, and just putting it out there from some research I've done, stemming from my curiosity over PG&E stocks, which tanked all week, then rallied Thursday night after a California official announced they would not let PG&E fail. PG&E, again, most people can infer this is California's power company.
Yeah, famous from the Aaron Brockovich movie.
Oh,
where they poisoned people and gave them cancer, knowingly.
I find it very interesting that Roger Kimmel, on the board of directors of PG&E, is also vice chairman of Rothschild Incorporated, international investment banking firm. I also find interesting the long history of financial contributions that PG&E has made to Jerry Brown, former California governor, over the years, and millions spent in lobbying. What a coincidence it must be that Governor Brown signed a bill in September 2018 protecting PG&E and allowing PG&E to pass off its cost of fire responsibility to its customers in rate hikes and through bonds. It also must be just a coincidence that the fires are burning in the same projected areas that the $77 billion high-speed rail project is to be built, which also happens to be Governor Brown's pet project. And what are the odds that Feinstein's husband, Senator Dianne Feinstein's, Richard Bloom, is the contractor to the rail project? Geez, with that much money, we could build 3 U.S. southern border walls. Then, oddly, there are all these people who have said they saw what looked like lasers or blue beams of light causing the fires, and pictures and videos. I don't know anything about that, but I do find it really curious PG&E's partnership with Solarin on space solar generators starting in 2009. They announced the launch into space in March 2018, and maybe even put them up before that. Space solar generators collect the sun's energy, then beam it back to Earth to a transmitter to convert to electricity. Pause, as an aside, this is a real technology. This hasn't been done, nobody's done this, but for example, some people may have played Cyberpunk 2077, unfortunately, and if you go in that game there's a mission that takes you to the solar array that powers the city, and it's a bunch of solar panels, and then yes, there are geosynchronous satellites that send microwave radiation to the site, and it gets power there too. It's another way of getting solar power. No one has done this, but it is a real technology. It is well within the bounds. It's not cost effective right now, but it is not sci-fi. It is real. No such satellite exists, but the technology is reasonable. If I can talk about Elon Musk's space program, I can talk about solar satellites, even though Elon Musk does not have spaceships yet. The idea is clean energy to replace coal and oil. If they are beaming the sun's energy back to Earth, I'm sure they wouldn't ever miss a transmitter receiving station, right? I mean, mistakes are never made when anything new is invented. What would that look like anyway? A laser beam or a light beam coming down to Earth, I guess. Could that cause a fire? I don't know. I hope not. That wouldn't look so good for PG&E, Rothschild Incorporated, Solarin, or Jerry Brown, who sure does seem fond of PG&E. Good thing for Solarin that Michael Peavy is on their board, since he is former president of the California Public Utilities Commission. Let me say that again. Good thing for Solarin, the solar power company, that Michael Peavy is on their board, since he is former president of the California Public Utilities Commission, California's most powerful energy regulation agency. Great connections right there. Okay, so that is the Post. This is where Marjorie Taylor Greene is now associated inextricably with Jewish space lasers. The headline around this is that Marjorie Taylor Greene believes that the Rothschild family started the forest fires with a space laser. Does anything else from this post strike you as at least slightly interesting, Dan?
I can think of nothing.
Hey, did you know that everybody who runs California's power company is also in bed with the government? I mean, right. This is simultaneously not news for those of us who are like libertarians. And frankly, I don't know how you could think it could be any other way, right? I have a worldview where it's like, hey, did you know that, all these rich guys make political donations? And I'm kind of like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
But, okay.
Oh, by the way, on her Wikipedia page, this is on there under controversies, as it always is. Because supposedly she's also a Parkland shooting denier. One of those people that say this didn't happen. So I don't even know if that's true, because just reading this characterization of what she just said about Jewish space lasers,